several videos on breathing, devices to improve and strengthen breathing, and even techniques to improve how you breathe. I guess you could say that I think breathing is pretty awesome. That is why I was so excited to find and read this book, Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art by James Nestor. And I thought I knew a lot about breathing and breath work already, but Mr. Nestor certainly proved me wrong. This book was so much more than I imagined it could be. Almost life-changing, really. This book was filled with Nestor's research, his scientific quest, and his historical insights, but the way that he was able to tie it all together in storytelling made the book very enjoyable and easy to read. So, think breathwork can help with severe asthma? What about emphysema, scoliosis, PTSD, high blood pressure? Think it could make you a better athlete? Yeah, I was skeptical too, but this book proved that breathwork and breathing techniques can make a better life a reality for just about anyone. So right off the bat, this book had me questioning three things. First, am I breathing through my nose? 2, am I breathing too fast? And 3, could I breathe less? So I'll start with nose breathing. So Nestor explains in the book, he talks about an experiment that he and his colleague Olson did to find out just how important it was to breathe through the nose instead of the mouth. And he says that apparently nearly half of all people breathe through their mouths. And while you may not think this is a big deal, just days into his experiment with only breathing through his mouth, Nestor's blood pressure spiked 13 points. He was in a constant state of stress, his pulse and body temperature increased, and his mental clarity hit rock bottom. He also developed more sleep apnea and would snore more than 4 hours each night. Mouth breathing, as it turns out, changes the physical body, and it transforms airways for the worse. It even makes you dumber. Yeah, mouth breathers actually develop fewer brain cells, they found out. Yikes. So after 10 days, Nestor and Olson switched the way they breathe. So this time, they closed their mouth and they breathed only through their nose. Even when they slept, they put a small piece of tape on their lips to ensure their mouth didn't fall open. Literally within hours of nasal breathing, Nestor's systolic blood pressure dropped 18 points, his carbon dioxide levels normalized, and his ability to think and concentrate were almost back to normal. Ah, he sighed. The magic of the nose. As he explains throughout his book, the nose is crucial because it helps to clean, heat, and moisten the air for easier absorption. And that's just something that our mouth can't do. So then there was the second question plaguing my mind. Am I breathing too fast? So if you've seen some of my other videos on proper oxygen exchange, then you know that it's important to breathe out longer than you breathe in. It's all about proper gas exchange, and there's nothing controversial about that. But did you know that carbon dioxide plays a role in weight loss? Yeah, pretty cool, huh? So carbon dioxide has weight, and we exhale more weight than we inhale. The sweating or burning off that most people think is the key to weight loss really only makes up about 20% of what we lose. But for effective breathing, Nestor writes that we have to learn how to slow down. When we take longer, slower breaths, our lungs become more efficient and our body goes into a state of coherence. It turns out that the most efficient breathing rhythm occurs when the length of respirations and the total breaths per minute get into this spooky symmetry of 5.5 second inhales and 5.5 second exhales, which equals almost exactly 5.5 breaths per minute. So immediately I began working on breathing slower. And then finally the third question, can I breathe less? So according to Nestor's research, we have become a culture of overbreathers. We simply breathe too much. When we can learn to breathe optimally, taking in around 6 liters of air with each inhale instead of like 15, everything works like it should. Nothing in our body is being stressed. We stay in what's known as our sweet spot between alkaline and acid. So we need to keep breathing, but breathing less. So after listening to the book, I decided to put some of the techniques I learned into practice. It didn't take me long to get the hang of breathing only through my nose and breathing a bit slower and taking in less air when I was consciously thinking about it. But the real challenge came when I tried doing these things during exercise. So if you're anything like me, I have the hardest time breathing through my nose when I'm jogging or lifting weights. I don't feel like I'm getting enough oxygen. So I started working on a less extreme form of a hyperventilation exercise Nestor uses in the book. This exercise had me jogging for 1 minute, breathing normally through my nose. Then exhale and pinch my nose closed, keeping the same pace. After sensing what they call air hunger, I would release my nose and breathe gently as I could for about 15 seconds, and then I would return to my regular breathing. Now, at first, I could barely make it through 1 cycle. Today, I can do about 3, and my goal is 10, so I still have quite a ways to go. At the end of the book, Nestor writes all of the different breathing methods discussed throughout the book. They are listed by chapters, and they tell the benefit for each technique and then step by step how to do them. Some are pretty easy, others not so much, but I hope to eventually try all of them. So grab this book or download an audio version that you and your loved one can listen to together. It will have you thinking about how you breathe, or perhaps how you should be. Thanks for watching, get to reading, and until next time, good luck cracking the code.